Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from whatever part of the world you are watching me from. Thank you so very much for your time. In today's video, we are going to talk about the importance, the spiritual significance of midnight hour. Let's talk about midnight hour. We read about the story whereby Moses was telling the children of he was talking to the Egyptians about what was going to happen, whereby God was going to carry out of all the firstborns were going to be killed in Israel. I beg your pardon, not in Israel, but in Egypt. Now, God had to wait until midnight hour for him to carry out this righteous judgment against a wicked nation. Now, let's look at the significance of midnight. Midnight is a gate of great calamity and destruction. At this gate, that is the gate of midnight, evil judgment and decrees can be passed on a whole family, on a city, on a nation, even on a village. That is at midnight hour. In the scripture above, as we said, God waited to carry out his righteous judgment against a wicked nation. Midnight is the time whereby most people are vulnerable to spiritual attacks. It is also the time that you yourself, you can launch a deadly surprise attack on the camp of your enemy. That is when you stand your ground as a child of God, as a believer. Midnight hour, you also engage in purposeful prayers. You pray at the midnight hour. Pray against evil spirits that are also being targeted at you. Get into that counter offensive prayer at midnight. As we have seen that many bad things are happening at midnight, great calamity and destruction is taking place at midnight, you also as a child of God, stand at that same midnight hour and fight your battles, counter-offensive battles at midnight hour. You can launch your own deadly attacks on your enemies at midnight hour. As they are busy destroying lives, you are busy fighting back as a child of God at midnight hour. Let's look at another example of Samson. And Samson lied low till midnight, then he arose at midnight and took hold of the door. The scripture continues, but I just ended there. Let's ask ourselves this question. Have you ever lost something or someone very dear to you under mysterious circumstances? If such ever happened to you or to someone that you know, chances are very high that such an operation was carried out at the midnight hour. Let's look at 1 King chapter 3 and verse 20. And she arose at midnight and took my son from beside me. The story continues. It didn't end there, but I just ended here because of time. This story we all know about the lady, they were sleeping and the other one rose up, got up, and then her own baby was dead. She decided to steal from the other lady who was sleeping with her child. She exchanged the babies, put her dead child on the beside the other women and took the other child to her, which was alive. And this operation, this was an evil exchange that was also done at midnight. And these evil transactions, these evil and wicked spiritual transactions are still going on in our lives in today's time. That's why as children of God, midnight hour, it's not an hour for you to be sleeping. It's a time for you to wake up, be on your knees, be on your toes, on your feet. Stand on the believer's authority. You should also fight back counter-offensive prayers. Fight back. Meanwhile, the devil is also busy destroying people's life. sowing evil seeds in people's lives while they are sleeping. You also, you must be awake and fight back all these evil transactions that are taking place. Fight back in prayers. Stand on the believer's authority. God will never disappoint us. Let us end our video here for today. Thank you so very much for your time. Please, please, please help me subscribe to this channel. Help me grow this channel. Turn in the notification bell so that you won't miss out on my next upload. Thank you so very much for your time. Emmanuel.